Good evening, everyone. It is good to be back here at PCTI. Last time I was re-elected, it was 2021. Our county and our nation were still emerging from the global pandemic, and I took my oath at home. But the same two people were with me there and stood with me today, my darling wife Kiapi and my son Kedar. Kiapi and I celebrated 25 years of marriage last fall. Through thick and thin, she is my most trusted advisor and the true north of my moral compass. Kedar started at the Passaic County Cemetery. As I led him across the country to Berkeley, California, he continues to make us proud, and I'm so glad he can stand here with me today, even if it made me look short and stout. Not with us today is my father, Dr. Bartlett. Dad is in hospice right now.
No.
And as we prepare to say goodbye, I treasure the memories of every time he got to stand here with me on this proud day. Thank you, Mary Tracy Callett, for swearing me in today, and for the example of selfless citizen service that you set in Woodland Park. Thank you, Chairman Curry, for the opportunity to continue to serve our great county, and for your stalwart support in a most difficult year last year. Thank you also to my colleagues and fellow public officials who supported us last year, and to everyone who stood with us. If you're with us tonight, you know what it took to get here. 2024 threw more at us than any single year I can remember. It was a year of trials and tragedies. Trials like a primary contest and introducing voters to a ballot they'd never seen before. And the tragedies, of course, of those we lost. Sheriff Richard Burdick back in January, and the incomparable Congressman Bill Pascrell just 5 months ago, and others throughout the year as well. I regard it as a tragedy also how last year's political contest and global events tore apart long-standing relationships between communities, leaders, and individuals in our county. Too many have given in to a belief in their own perspective so strong that it allows them to dismiss and dehumanize those who think differently, who have different experiences or different backgrounds. One of my hopes for the year ahead is that we can begin to rebuild those frayed and broken connections among one another. They are as essential to the functioning of this democracy as the casting and counting of votes, and as peaceful transitions of power like the one Vice President Kamala Harris presided over with such dignity and poise 2 days ago. I swore my oath today, as I always do, on an open Bible. A closed Bible is fine for waving around, but it's hard to get the message if you don't get past the cover. My Bible was open today to the 12th chapter of Paul's letter to the church in Rome. This is the first time I've sworn an oath with my hand on any of the epistles. Ordinarily, when it comes to the Bible, I'm a red letter guy. In Paul's letter to the Romans, he exhorts them to support one another, not to conform to the world, but to resist its evils and temptations together, by each lending the skills she or he brings. The organizers to organize, the speakers to speak, the healers to heal, the teachers to teach. Those principles of mutual support and each lending our particular skills to a shared endeavor are exactly what this moment in history calls upon us to pursue. Of course, we can say that of governing any time. It emerges from the collective wisdom of the populace of a democracy and the collective work of the skilled, committed, and knowledgeable individuals who make up our Passaic County team. But the years ahead will call upon us all for something different and something more. They will call on us to hang together and support and love one another, just to keep our grasp upon who we are as Americans, on reality itself. Because for the next 4 years, we're going to be told a lot of things that just aren't true. And we need to be ready for that. Don't believe me? Take note of yesterday's news that Facebook is firing its fact checkers and will now allow users, among other things, to describe LGBTQ people as mentally ill. And we're just getting started. So we're going to be told that science is wrong, that history didn't happen the way we know it did, and that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights mean something completely different from what we know darn well they mean. We will be told that freedom means not your freedom over your body and your voice, but the freedom of the rich and powerful to make choices for you. We will be told that American greatness is found in imagined histories and not shared futures. And if you can't see yourself in that sepia-toned, father-knows-best version of America, maybe you don't belong at all. We will be told, as we already have been, that a global cabal of doctors and scientists and scholars are colluding to lie to us, and that the only people we can really trust are television entertainers and billionaires who stand to profit from your believing their version of reality. We will be told that ransacking America's capital is an act of patriotism, or questioning the motivations of the president is an act of treason. My commitment is to use the levers of government that are within my reach to resist every bad idea and every attempted theft of our rights that comes out of Washington in the years ahead. We did it before. When President Trump enacted a Muslim ban, we pulled together churches and mosques and other faith communities with businesses and volunteers to support our Syrian refugee families. And we stood with others that were being targeted. When Trump tried to intimidate immigrant households from participating in the 2020 census, we put together a census outreach program in 5 languages, focusing on our hard-to-count communities and achieving the county's highest self-reporting rates in half a century. And I joined an amicus brief in the United States Supreme Court that helped prevent a citizenship question from being added to the census. And while Trump responded to a global pandemic by speculating about ways to inject bleach and sunlight into the human body and encouraging Americans to ingest horse dewormer, but in Passaic County, under the leadership of an extraordinary epidemiologist, we stood up New Jersey's first county-level COVID testing site, the first county-organized at-home COVID testing and vaccination programs, and a mega site that provided life-saving vaccines to more than 70,000 residents of our county in the early months of 2021. That is the kind of thing we can do when we hang together, supporting one another with the skills and knowledge each of us brings to this common endeavor, to our county, to our nation, and to democracy itself. So hold fast to truth, work with zeal, with joy, with honor and compassion, and we will continue to do great things together. Thank you very much.